You're listening to the What the Wrestling Podcast, the show that brings you all things wrestling with your host, RJD.
Oh, you already know what time it is. Yeah. Y'all already know, man. Welcome. Welcome. You know what time it is. It is What the Wrestling Time. But we are going to get into my socials. Damn it.
Perfect.
Excuse me if I'm hype. It's sunny. I'm about to go outside, and I just learned that William Regal is probably one of the toughest men on the entire planet. But we're going to get into that. First and foremost, follow me, RJD, on Instagram, RJD10K, on the Twitter, RJ699, and on Snapchat, RJD199. But most importantly, follow What the Wrestling on Facebook and YouTube and TikTok and Spodify and Anchor. And because you love me.
Perfect.
And because I'm bald and sexy. That was for the ladies. Anyway, let's not waste any time. Let's go. Yes. Come on, RJD here. Welcome to another episode of What the Wrestling. I am your host, once again, RJD. We will be talking today about William Regal, the toughest man on the face of the planet, and we'll be talking about and reviewing NXT Monday Night Raw. NXT 2.0. Sorry.
Perfect.
My bad. My bad. I had a cough there. Anyway, who's texting me? Anyway, before we get into everything, stop the show. Like the goddamn video. Like the video, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. What the Wrestling, you see it in the logo behind the camera. Stop playing with me. Like the video, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. What the Wrestling, as always, you know how we do. Show me some love. Comment, I will respond to you if you drop a comment. We will be doing live streams. It is official, goddammit. Starting next week, we will be doing live streams. I'm going to do the live streams for about a month, see how they work out, and then we will keep the ball rolling. So, with that being said, love all you guys. Thank you for all your love. Thank you for the sun for being out, and it's not 10 degrees anymore when I go outside because it sucks. And we are going to keep the ball rolling right along. Let's talk about Regal. William Regal was on Talk is Jherico. I listened to the episode today, literally, and last week everybody freaked out when he made his promo and he said, "I'm not long for this world," and everybody had a freaking conniption. Everybody freaked out. They were like,
Nope.
"What's wrong with you?
Stop it. Get some help."
And everybody was like, "What's wrong with Regal? What's going to happen? Is he okay? Is he going to die? What's up? But it just turns out, holy hell, William Regal has been through the fucking ringer. Like, for real.
Respect my authority!
William Regal, I first of all, okay, let me start from the beginning. I loved William Regal in NXT, okay? I loved him in NXT. I thought he was a pivotal part to NXT. He was one of the best general managers I've ever seen, and that's no cap.
Stop the cap.
That's no cap. He legit was one of the best general managers we've seen on TV. But then again, NXT was one of the best wrestling shows we've seen on TV. So, that's neither here nor there. But hearing what this man has been through, I mean, I don't get emotional for things normally, but I'm just sitting there like taking the shades off. That's how fucking serious I am. Oh man, that light is bright. I'm gonna end up putting the shades back on. But I want you guys to know, seriously, if you haven't seen, what am I talking about? If you haven't heard, I messed that up.
Stupid.
If you haven't heard Talk is Jherico, the latest episode with William Regal, put this on pause, go listen to that, and then come back. Go listen to that. In all seriousness, it will put things in perspective as to what a human being should be able to endure and go through. That man's will to live is strong. His desire to work and his desire to get right is strong. He got emotional multiple times throughout the episode. William Regal is a man's fucking man, and he deserves a Don DeMarco.
Don DeMarco.
Holy hell, that man went through a lot. So, I mean, let's just detail one of the things he went through. So, I mean, I heard it, so I'm just going to reiterate what Ringside News reported. While speaking on Talk is Jherico, William Regal talked about his various health issues over the years, including the time he was told he was going to live only 24 hours. The man was told I had 24 hours to live. Holy hell. Let's hear the story. So, I went home 2 weeks before Christmas 2018. The last time my family was all together was 2018 for Christmas, and I was in the hospital for 8 weeks. I was given 24 hours to live. They were going to cut my leg off. This was January 4th, 2019. I insisted on going home for Christmas. I had a hell of a year. 2018 since 1998. I had pericarditis. Stop the show. So pericarditis, I just found this out today, is when you have like when the sac around your heart. I think he compared it to like a goose egg or something like that. Like you have the sac around your heart and it begins to callus up, and your heart can beat, but it's inside of this sac, and it can beat, but not to its fullest potential. So it's the hardening of it develops this hardening around the heart. That's what pericarditis is. An inflammation of the sac around the heart, it scars the sac. So, you know, your heart sits in the sac and it boom, boom, it beats twice. That sac gets hard, I guess it calluses up, and your heart is constricted because it can't beat properly, which means it can't get the blood flow around your body properly. That's basically what that is. Your heart can beat, but the sac can lock down. I might not have looked like it, but I trained as hard as I did and taking bumps. I kept that from locking down and going solid. The skin around your heart. I went to India. I got really sick and I was out for a year. I had bouts on and off. So what ended up happening, because that's the end of the quote, but I listened to the whole episode. What ended up happening is that because he worked out like a madman and he was doing squats and he kept himself in shape, that allowed his heart, you know, you're constantly working out the heart. Basically, it's constantly beating. So that sac didn't have time to get hard because he was working out, he was wrestling and all of this stuff. So what ended up happening is as he got older and his career winded down, he stopped working out as much, he stopped wrestling as much, and that sac got harder because he wasn't pushing like he was when he was wrestling. So I think he went somewhere, he fell out. He fell out on I forget what trip he went on. He fell out, he broke his eye socket. He fell down the treadmill. Not treadmill, what the hell am I talking about?
Stupid.
He fell down an escalator and he hit his eye on the rubber part. Thank God it wasn't the metal part. He broke his orbital bone and lost 40% of his vision. He had amnesia for 3 weeks. So he said he was driving the wife crazy, but he has no recollection of what happened. And then they get him in the doctor's office. He ends up, long story short, he ends up doing some tests. And there just so happened to be a cardiac doctor in the room who was like, wait, go back. That doesn't look right. Like, she wasn't even part of his team. She just so happened to be in the room. Like, she wasn't even supposed to be there. And then he left. They told him to come back. And they said, listen, you have 24 hours to live. If we do not do this, they was going to cut off his leg. But they gave him this shot. His words, not mine. They said they gave him this and this and this. And he gets all the stuff. He leaves. He comes back. And then he ends up happening to do this surgery on his heart because this lady just so happened to be there. Like, it was a complete accident that this lady was there. And because she saw his chart or his MRI, he leaves and comes back and says, yo, we have to do this because if we don't do this, you're going to die in 24 hours. So he comes back, they do this, I think they gave him 6 months or 24 hours, something like that. They gave him, they said, you're going to die in 6 months if you don't have the heart surgery. Yeah, because the 24 hours to live was the sepsis in his leg. So they gave him the shots for the sepsis. He leaves, he comes back. He has to go back months later. Cardiac doctor just so happens to be in the room and said, listen, you got 6 months to live because the MRI that they showed that sac around his heart was hard. Like, when he was wrestling, it was hardening, but when he went, it was hard. So he was having like dizzy spells and he would just shoo it off, and his wife touched his shoulder and he fell against the car and he would shoo it off. So this is going on for months. The guy finally does the heart surgery and they look and they're like, yeah, well, they scrape. It's basically a procedure where they scrape that shit off your heart. God knows how that procedure must be. That must be crazy, that procedure. Like, they scrape, and he even said it. He was like, not many people can do that surgery because it's such a rare disease. Not many people can do it. So they scrape off his heart. Okay, that's one thing. He had to battle the sepsis. Okay, that's another thing. So that's two things he had to deal with. Then there was a story he told where early in his career, he had a fight with Ricky Steamboat, not a physical fight, a match. He had a match with Ricky Steamboat, and the end of the match was him doing like a German suplex in the bridge. But he did a German suplex and he bridged, but when he hit the mat, he said his neck kind of just popped. Like, he didn't use the word popped, but him describing it, he said his neck just kind of twitched, and he did the bridge, whatever. So 1993 that was. So now years and years and years and years go by. He has a checkup or something because he's having these spells and these dizzy spells. It's in the 2000s, I believe, early 2000s. And the guy looks at his neck and said, are you okay? The doctor doesn't the scan on him, looks at his neck and says, are you okay? Are you sure? Can you feel everything? He's like, yeah, I'm good. What's up? And you know what I'm saying? Doing the Eddie Guerrero and shit. He's like, I'm good. What's up? And he's like, you need to come in immediately. So he comes in, and the guy says, I don't know what the hell I'm looking at, but I've never seen a neck this bad. The only other time I've seen something this bad, the guy was paralyzed. How the hell are you walking right now? You shouldn't be walking. So he's like, oh shit. So now he's sitting there like, okay. So they're like, yo, we gotta fix this shit. So when he goes in for the goddamn neck surgery, there's, I guess, whatever he popped in his neck, the fluid or the sac or whatever it was, it basically created a hard gel that was holding his neck together. So his neck had popped and he was supposed to be paralyzed, but whatever happened, that fluid kind of sat around his neck in that spot and held his neck together for damn near 20 years. They go in for the surgery and they see it and they're like, what the fuck is this? We don't even know what this. So they like scrape his neck out. They take away all the fluid. They fuse 4 discs to this man's neck. 4. He said he's the only wrestler in the world that he knows had 4 discs. He said some people he know had 3. He said he knows a lot of people with 2. That's Steve Austin, Edge. A lot of them have had 2. He has 4 discs fused in his fucking neck. Holy shit.
Get the fuck out of here!
I heard that. I put that shit on rewind. I was like, what? Because I know a couple people with neck problems, and it's like they were never the same. And the brother continued to wrestle on a shitty neck. I mean, we know Kurt Angle did it, but he knew his neck was bad. This guy didn't even know his neck was being held together like this, like with some fluid that got hard. Holy hell. Then he talks about one time where he was leaking spinal fluid. So he was leaking spinal fluid. Long story short, you got to go back and listen to this shit. It's immaculate. He's leaking spinal fluid. And the brother, to make a long story short, he has to do this procedure where they have to drain the fluid, and he had to sit up for 8 days. I think he had to sit up for 8 days because he's leaking fluid into his body, so it could fuck your body up. And if he would have leaked out enough fluid, I think it protects your nerves from your bones or something like that. And he was leaking this spinal fluid, which is never a good fucking thing. So they had to kind of so it didn't build up and cause him problems and he could die. And you can't, I think he was overseas and you can't be walking around with an open wound leaking spinal fluid. Like, it's not gonna work. Like the doctor said, you need to get your ass back here. I think that was around Takeover London. I think that was around that time. He goes back, he has to sit up. He said he had to sit up for 8 days, and every 2 or 3 hours they had to come in and drain this fluid out of his neck and then give him fluid. They had to give him fluid and drain fluid. And he said the pain that he felt, it felt like his legs were getting cut off, felt like his toes were getting cut off, felt like it was burning, felt like his fingers was on fire, and he had to do this shit every 2 hours for 8 days. Oh, by the way, you can't sleep or lay down. Sleep, no, you have to sit up because you can't lay down because of the shit in his neck, the fluid leaking. So you have to literally sit there like this. And I was like, holy hell. And he was in so much pain, tremendous pain. Like, people that go through shit like this, it's just like, how, Sway? Like, no. Like, people who go through this type of stuff, it's like,
How, Sway? Take a few steps back to go.
You ain't got the answers, man. You ain't got the answers.
bro, I ain't got the goddamn answers. I ain't got them. It was one of the most riveting and detailed descriptions of like a wrestler, what he went through, that I've ever heard. It was such a fascinating interview. And he even says it, William Regal says, when I talk, I'm long-winded. You know what I'm saying? Everything I say is long-winded. And Jherico let him go. The episode went so long that he said, yo, can we come back and do a part 2 next week so you can tell us some more stuff? They didn't even get to a lot of the shit he wanted to get to because it was an hour and 22 minutes long, and I guess they had it, when they were filming it, I guess they had a dynamite to do or whatever. So he's like, yeah, we got to go to work. So they didn't have a chance to finish it, but oh my God. William Regal is one tough son of a bitch, and I mean that in the most respectful way possible. Most wrestlers are tough as fuck. Most of them. No, scratch that. All of them are tough. To do what they do night in, night out, and wrestle, he said for 20 years he wrestled no minimum 150 nights a year. And that's not uncommon for any wrestler, any of our famous wrestlers that we knew. The Rock back in the day, Stone Cold, Triple H, Undertaker, Rey Mysterio, guys in AEW, Punk. That's not Omega, Bucks. That's not uncommon for anybody. When you're on the road and you're going, 150 days a year minimum He said back in the day. It's a little different now. You know, a lot of the guys, you know, sometimes they don't need you, so you're not there every week, you know, whatever. But to do what they do and put their bodies on the line like that. I mean, I love wrestling. I love pro wrestling since I was a kid. Since I was scared of Psycho Sid. Real talk, man. Real talk, man. I love wrestling since I was a kid. Since I was scared of Psycho Sid. But holy hell. What this guy described, him going through, and knowing some of the other stories of what the guys go through, and that's just one 1/100th of the stories that I've heard that are out there that you can listen to about how tough it is. And it's not glorious. There's no money in it, not in the beginning anyway. Like Edge, his story was fascinating. He's like, you do it because you love it. He's like, we ain't getting paid shit, but we do it because we love it and we just want to get better. Like, this shit made me love pro wrestling even more listening to this interview. Like, seriously.
You win!
This shit just made me love pro wrestling more. This was crazy. Go back and watch. Please go back and watch it. If you're a wrestling fan, Talk is Jherico on iTunes, Spotify, whatever. Go back and listen to that. William Regal, I now like him even more. Like, I want this man to succeed even more, knowing what he's been through. Holy shit. Wow. What a story, man. And the journey continues. The journey continues. Awesome shit. Moving on. NXT Raw. I mean, NXT. Shit. Sorry.
You stupid.
My bad. NXT 2.0. Last night was Monday Night Raw Lights to the 100th degree. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say it was bad or terrible or trash, but I am going to say it was Monday Night Raw. And I don't want Monday Night Raw on NXT. I want NXT on NXT. But now I'm getting Monday Night Raw on NXT, and then I get Monday Night Raw on SmackDown. So I might as well just watch Monday Night Raw 3 times in 1 week. I mean, come on, guys. Dolph Ziggler, champion, I like it. I don't care what nobody says. I like it. It's different. Something for him to do. If they have an end game here, and they're going to put somebody over at the end of it, I'm all for it. But there's too much Monday Night Raw in my NXT. I went back and watched TakeOver New York a couple of days ago. Holy hell. What a difference. Oh, man. What a difference. Night and day. Night and fucking day. So we started off with Miz TV.
Get the fuck out of here! Oh, hell no!
The Miz is on NXT. This is Monday Night Raw Lights. So the Miz introduced Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. They came out, talked some shit, saying that they're the champ. You know, doing his normal I'm the shit thing. LA Knight comes out. I'm really starting to love LA Knight. He comes out and he's like, yeah. Oh, man. So LA Knight comes out and says, listen, you said you're the face of NXT now? Like, you're the man in NXT? Well, fight me, goddammit. Since Braun Breaker came out, Braun Breaker came in, looked for him. He wasn't there. The officials held him back, so he took off and drove off. So he wasn't in the building. So they said, hey, Braun Breaker's not here. I'm here. What's up?
Surprise, motherfucker.
And that match was solidified for the main event of the evening. So that was good. LA Knight got put over by The Miz, which was great. The Miz is a good talker, as always. And the crowd liked Dolph Ziggler. The crowd liked LA Knight. Yeah, I'm all for it. Next, we had a ladder match qualifier, Santos Escobar with Legado del Fantasma with Cameron Grimes. And we had the A champion Carmelo Hayes at ringside. This was a great match. Cameron Grimes did lose. We had interference by Legado del Fantasma, and then after that, he went for the cave-in, and it got reversed into the Michinoku driver, and that was it. Now, Cameron Grimes lost. I'm surprised that happened. Escobar Escobar. He was kind of protected in the loss, but Escobar looked good here, as always. Cameron Grimes then had a video package later on, or a segment later on, saying that he's tired of losing. He promised people he was going to win, and he's still losing. So they're going to bring him around full circle. He probably will end up getting that North American title, because I think there's a story to be told there, and they're going to work him back around. But right now, I think Escobar might be the next champ, to be honest. It wouldn't surprise me. Next, we had A-Kid versus Kushida with Jherico in his corner. I like A-Kid. Didn't really watch a lot of him in NXT UK, but he's really good. Kushida. I love Kushida. Kushida's great. Technical, high-flying master. And the winner is going to face Grayson Waller for the NXT North American Championship ladder match qualifier. So, A-Kid got the win, which was surprising to me. Kushida always does the armbar stuff, and I love the way he transitions into his armbar. He does the hoverboard lock off the top rope. He can do it in a variation of ways, but I'm surprised. Surprised he lost here. So, Kid, the audience doesn't really know him, so they tried to get him. He had to build some momentum up, which he did, and he got the win. So, shout out to him. Don't really know him that much, but okay, whatever. Now, we had Tiffany.
You stupid.
We had Tiffany Stratton versus Saray. Saray was on her way to the ring when
Surprise, motherfucker.
Tiffany Stratton knocked her out. Tiffany Stratton attacked her on the way to the ring, made sure she could not transform by ripping off her necklace. The attack continued into the ring. Once the bell rang, it took less than a minute for Stratton to get the corkscrew win via corkscrew senton off the second rope. Saray has this thing where her jewel allows her to transform into the superhero because she's Captain Planet apparently, and this is what we got. So this was the senton looked good, but this was I'm still not sold on Tiffany Stratton. More work to be done there. Then we had Tommaso Ciampa come out and cut a very, very, very heartfelt promo where he thanked the fans, said he wanted to be the guy, he knew he could be the guy, and when the fans used to cheer him and boo him at his best, and then the fans booed him, which was great.
Respect my authority!
And he said he knew back then he was the guy, and one thing that changed, NXT changed, people changed, but he never left and the fans never left, which was great, heartfelt promo. Then we have Tony D. Tony D'Angelo comes out and he says, listen, I wanna fight you, man. It's you. It's always been you. What do I gotta do to be the man around here? I gotta beat the man, and the man is you. I gotta fight you, Ciampa. I gotta fight you. Do you accept my fight at the next pay-per-view? So he accepted, and they shook hands in agreement, and then he hit him in the dick.
Damn, son.
So he hit him in the nuts, and after that he said, "It's always been you, Ciampa. It's always been you." So this is Ciampa's match. Who knows? Ciampa almost made this seem like a farewell. We don't know what the hell Ciampa's gonna do. He kissed D'Angelo kissed Ciampa in the head before he left on some a la Godfather stuff. I gotta watch those movies over, man. Haven't seen The Godfather or Godfather 2 in a very long time. He brought up, so Tony D, Ciampa. That should be a good match. Looking forward to it. We had Indy Hartwell versus Persia Pirotta. This was meh. This was very mid. Indy Hartwell got the win via roll-up when Dexter Lumis came out of nowhere and surprised her boyfriend, surprised Duke Hudson. And when Duke Hudson got surprised, Pirotta got distracted. She got rolled up. Later, they crawled in the ring, Dexter Lumis style. Dexter Lumis and Indy. Perota and Duke Hudson kissed, and then Indy and Dexter Lumis kissed. This is no doubt setting up a intergender tag match. Very mid, but I like Dexter Lumis. He's great. Hopefully they make some light of what's going on here because they got to put him in something more meaningful. Then we had a segment backstage where Legado del Fantasma was saying, and this was early on in the evening, that Santos Escobar
Stupid.
Santos Escobar is the greatest luchador of all time and the greatest ever. Then Rey Mysterio comes out of nowhere. Like I said, this is very Monday Night Raw. This is a Monday Night Raw episode of NXT. And he comes out of nowhere and everybody's like, what the hell?
Stop the cap.
What the hell are you doing here? Then he's like, hey, greatest luchador of all time is standing right here. So Dominic said. And Escobar said, listen, much respect to you, Rey, how are you? And they said, listen, you're going to be the one to take the mantle to be the best luchador who breaks my records is right here, my son. So they laughed. They said, Dominic?
How dare you?
So they was like, listen, Dominic said, if one of you punk asses want to step up, we can fight tonight. So Dominic and they had themselves a little fight. Later on in the night, Santos Escobar, it was one of the Phantasma guys. I forgot his name. But Dominic came out. Dominic did get the win with the 619 and a frog splash. And this was okay. So we'll see if Rey Mysterio and all these other guys from Monday Night Raw being on this brand helps out the brand. But one thing I did know, the crowd was fully behind Dominic, which I really liked. Then we had Cora Jade. She tried to embarrass Toxic Attraction, but she herself got her ass kicked, and she got beat down by Mandy Rose because she stole the NXT Women's title. So they're setting up for her to be the next contender. Then we had the Creed brothers come out and basically get mad at MSK, saying that they attacked them last week. MSK came out in NWO shirts and they said, hey, yo, we didn't do it. So shout out to the Razor Ramon tribute. And then Imperium came out of nowhere and said, listen, you guys don't even stand a chance. So MSK was like, yo, put them damn tag titles on the line and we'll see who doesn't stand a chance. So it's going to be a triple threat match, Imperium versus the Creed brothers versus MSK. Oh, that's Cero Miedo. Well, I forget how they do it. I forget how they do it. Whatever. MSK. So that was great. That was great. Then we had the main event. NXT Championship match, Dolph Ziggler with Robert Roode versus LA Knight. Yeah. And Ziggler gets the win here. Ziggler is a fighting champion, supposedly. So, excuse me. So, Ziggler sent Knight into the two turnbuckles before hitting a massive super kick for the win. After the finish, Braun Breaker stormed out, challenged Ziggler to a match at NXT Stand and Deliver. And Ziggler accepted it. And Braun Breaker laid out Robert Roode with his right hand. And that was all she wrote. Now, Ziggler and Knight was really good. Result never in question. LA Knight, he got his opportunity. He lost, but he looked good in defeat. LA Knight sold rib injuries throughout the contest. Robert Roode, as a manager, worked with the porno stash. And listen, Braun Breaker going up against Ziggler. I don't know if they're going to make him lose again, but I fully anticipate Ziggler losing this. You know, you got to give him a couple of title defenses. Maybe he needs one more before Stand and Deliver, and then he can go on and drop the title back to Braun Breaker. Because I think it's too soon to bring Braun Breaker up to the main roster. It's too soon. I wouldn't bring him up just yet. But listen, this was one hell of a show. It was very Monday Night Raw-esque. But listen, this is what they want to do now. This is the direction they're going. So we can either appreciate it, take it for what it's worth, try to find the good in the shit. And there was some good in this shit. So I'll take it. with that being said, that's all I got for you guys today. I'm about to get the hell out of here while the sun is still up. The temperature is going down, but I want pizza. And I gotta go make some moves. So with that being said, I'm out of here. This is going up right now. We got AE Dub tonight, as always. RJD with the superhero hat. I am out of here. Peace. Enjoy, y'all. Socials. I ain't going yet. Like the goddamn video. Y'all thought I forgot? Like the goddamn video. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. And hit that notification bell so you know when I go live.